Hi there, good afternoon. Welcome to the isolation station in Glasgow. It's David here. I am one of the cello tutors with the Benedetti Foundation, and I am going to hang on for a little minute just to see folks who are joining us. Please do come and say hello. Let me know where you're watching from today in particular. I can see that there's already a few people watching and it's great to have you. This is the very first instrumental talk as part of this new output from the foundation. So as a reminder, it's going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays. And Thursdays are going to be really aimed at talking about instrumental stuff. Some of it will be really string specific and some of it will be a bit more general. And today, I hope to do a bit of both. I've called today the P word. And this is sort of in reference to my mum, who used to refer to it as the P word because I really hated the P word. I really, really didn't like practicing. And part of me still doesn't really like practicing. So, how do we get the most out of our practice time? What do we do? I spend a lot of my time as a string teacher telling other people or giving other people ideas about how to practice, not necessarily what to practice, but actually how to practice. And so I hope to share some things with you today. So the idea is that we're going to talk about the P word, as in practice, but I have come up with other P words in order for us to explain this a little bit better. So we've got 6 more P words to get through, and I'm going to get stuck right in. It's so nice to see people saying hello. There's people watching from Australia, that's amazing. Hello to Sophia in Glasgow, very nice to see you too. And I can see that Ada's family is watching, and I can see Laura is watching. Big shout out to Laura, who actually made my signs for me today, my lovely visual aids. And the first thing we're going to talk about, the first P word related to practice, is this one. And I've just realised that I might have a mirror image, which would be really unfortunate, wouldn't it? The first one is pitfalls. So we're going to talk about what not to do. And these are a few things that I would say, please don't do it. So here comes 8 pitfalls I wrote down. Don't surround yourself with distractions, okay? So if you've got a phone, turn the notifications off, put it on airplane mode. I don't know about you, but anytime I'm doing something else, like reading or whatever, and my phone goes ding, I go, oh, I'll just stop what I'm doing and check. Oh yeah, it was nothing, it was just Domino's texting me or something. So get your phone out of the way. Definitely don't have the TV on. I used to think I could practice and watch a football match at the same time. That is just nonsense. Try and create a nice environment that's calm and that's quiet for you to practice in. Number 2, don't try to play the piece all the way through. That is crazy talk and a total waste of time. You're being really inefficient with your time. I had a teacher once who said, we don't want to practice for any longer than we absolutely have to. We all have other things that we want to do and other things that we need to do. So why would we spend longer than we need to practicing? I don't know. So don't play a piece all the way through. It's really bad use of time. 3, the pitfall number 3, don't always start at the beginning. Don't go bar 1 and then when you get, because you'll end up just practicing the same bit of the piece again and again. Don't play things up to speed straight away. It's very tempting to listen to a recording and then go, right, I can do that, and it doesn't work, and you wonder why it doesn't work. Because that person's recording, they didn't start like that either. They started slowly. Okay, so give your brain time to process all the information that you're giving it. And as musicians, we are doing lots of that. We're giving our brain and our hands lots of information. Pitfall number 5, don't give up as soon as you get to something you find difficult. Okay, so you start at bar 1, and then you get to bar 3 and you go, oh, that's hard. I'm just going to put it down. No, try to problem solve. Oh, I've given you a sneaky suggestion as to one of the other P's that we're going to come on to. Please continue saying hello, it's great to see you. And a reminder that this will appear back on Facebook later, so if you're frantically scrabbling, that you're probably not, but if you're trying to make some notes, you can go back and watch this later, okay? Don't get frustrated, okay? Another pitfall, another thing that we often fall into is getting frustrated when we practice. Or don't get angry when it doesn't sound the way that you want it to. There's a real danger of perfectionism when you hold yourself to an impossible standard. Okay, so be kind to yourself. Don't just scrape away without thinking about it when you just sit down and go, We don't want to practice mindlessly, but mindfully. And I've got some ideas for that coming up shortly. And the last one is never say, I can't do it. Never say, I can't do it. The only way I allow you to say that is if you add on the word yet. I can't do it yet. Because that means I believe in myself that you might be able to achieve it at some point down the future. And I totally believe that you can. So don't say I can't do it. Say, I can't do that quite yet, but I'm working on it. All right. So that's the pitfalls. Our first P relating to practice out of the way. That's the negative stuff. Let's talk about how we can positively talk about practice. The next one is this, plan, okay? Make a plan for your practice time. Structure your practice time. Write out what you have to work on. So you might have a practice diary from your teacher, in which case they've done a lot of that work for you. You've already got a little list of things that you need to work on, and decide how long you want to spend on each thing. All right, and for this, I like to, and I've explained this before in one of my other tutorials, I like to draw a bit of a practice cake. So I'm going to do a very, very quick one just now for you. I am going to show you some activities to do as part of your practice time as well, but this is mostly a bit of a chat. So you draw out your practice cake and you decide that you've got 4 or 5 things that you need to do. All right, so the first thing you want to do is warm up. All right, importance of warming up, really important. So you say, that's going to be that amount of my time, okay? That's your warm up there. And you can write warm up. And you can actually make one of these for yourselves. Get a different colour. I am colourblind, but I can tell the difference between colours. And then say, right, my teacher has given me this scale to practice. So I'm going to spend a good chunk of my time on the scale. Then my teacher's given me, they might have just given you 1 piece. But let's say they're giving you 2. So you've got piece number 1. Of course, we're not just going to play it all the way through or start from the beginning. You're going to try and tackle the challenging bits. We'll come on to that more. Piece number 2. And then I would suggest towards the end of this practice slot, you want to do 2 things. You want to have something familiar, which I've given a lot of time here. You maybe don't want to give this quite as much time on your pie chart, but something familiar will just give you that little boost to go, yeah, all that difficult stuff, that's difficult, but look, here's something I can really do. And the last thing in your practice cake will always be rest. Okay, it's really important to give your body and your brain time to rest when you're practicing. So there's my really rubbish practice cake. And the trick with this cake could be an hour. If you are working at like grade 5, 6, 7, you might decide that it's going to be an hour. You might decide, if you're a beginner, that this is going to be 15 minutes. But you can still spend the time on this. It's just the amount of time is going to change, right? And what I would suggest is that you actually work out the time and then you put a timer on. And you are really, really disciplined with yourself, so that when you get to the end of that time slot, even if things are starting to happen, you say, no, I'm going to move on to the next thing. Because what tends to happen in our performance and in our practice is that we have this increase and then there's a bit of a drop-off. And just as that drop-off comes, that's when we start to get frustrated and upset. And that's just when that timer's going to go off and you're going to go on to the next thing. And you're not going to allow yourself to get frustrated or upset. Okay, so that's my practice cake. That's not my idea. I borrowed it from an incredible jazz musician who I was working with. And I can see somebody said, remember, practice makes perfect. Yes, but here's what I would say to that. Practice makes perfect, but nobody is truly perfect. So what's the point in practicing? Because we're striving after that goal. We're striving to set ourselves higher and higher goals to aim for. Which brings me on to the next idea relating to planning, which is to set yourself goals. Set short-term, medium-term and longer-term goals. What do I want to achieve from my practice today? Have it in your mind or write it down. And then that gives you something to refer back to, and we'll come back to that a little bit later. All right, so that's something about planning. It's really important that you don't just go into your practice time and go, nah. That's mindless, and we want to be mindful as we practice. The next P relating to practice is this one. Patterns, which has some lovely patterns by @LauraKSayers on Instagram. Thank you for them, Laura. What do I mean by patterns? I mean that there is real strength in routine and getting yourself into a healthy pattern of practice early on. I don't think I was really very good at that when I was younger. Like I said, I used to watch the TV and try and watch football at the same time, which was a disaster. And I've really had to try and learn how to practice, and I still am learning how to practice more efficiently. But try and get into good habits, which is what I'm trying to give you today. Now, I want to give you some warm-up ideas because it's really important in terms of getting into routine that you always warm up. You always include something for the right hand and something for the left hand as part of your routine. Okay? So what I would refer to you to are some incredible warm-up ideas that are on the Foundation's YouTube playlist. There's various playlists. I don't know, I'm old. I think they're called playlists. And the warm-up is a whole chunk of that YouTube stuff. So get on there, there's loads of different ideas. Let me just give you a few. So the physical stuff, just get your body moving. In terms of right hand, I would suggest do some open string stuff so that you're just isolating your right hand. Focus on keeping a straight bow. So for the cellos, that means we're going to let our elbow open out. Upper strings, that's the same for you. Elbow's going to open out. For the basses, it's going to be a bit more of a swingy arm. But you're just going to make the string really wobble or resonate. And be aware of, and here it comes, I mention it in almost every video, WASAP, which stands for weight and speed and point of contact. So be aware of how much weight of your arm is going into the bow, how slow or fast the bow is going, and the point of contact. Try and get a really focused sound when you're warming up. 5 minutes a day of just open strings is a lovely way to start the day. It's like saying hello to your cello, and it also sets you up really well for the rest of your practice time. Now, for left hand, you can do things like finger bounces, or taps, or left hand plucks, just to get the string warmed up, or trills, which you can do with the bow or without the bow, or practice vibrato. Something that's quite nice that I saw from another cellist is to do an open string and then do vibrato with the other hand on a different string. Just as a way of warming up both hands before you jump into trying to tackle really difficult things, all right? Now, this brings me on to the main point of discussion for today, which is problem solving. How do we tackle things when we find them difficult? All right? So first of all, identify the challenge. What is it that I'm finding difficult about this piece or about this section? What isn't working right now? Try to identify exactly what it is that's not working. All right? Then, in the words of a program that I don't think is on television anymore, it was called The Cube. And in The Cube, you got the opportunity to simplify. All right? And basically it made the challenge a little bit easier. And that's what I would encourage you to do. Try and simplify. Once you've identified the problem, simplify it and try to break it down. So how can I pull out the tricky bit and how can I strip away some of the difficulty from it? So I've got loads of ideas about how you might tackle this. So again, please come back and watch this again. If you're finding something really difficult, you're like, I don't know what to do. Try some of these things. It's not going to work for everything and it's not going to work for everyone. And obviously what I would say is speak to your teacher about this stuff, okay? I always have a challenge. I mean, yeah, we'll come on to that at the end. Because there's some days for me, oh my goodness, it just doesn't work. It does not work at all. And I'm like, argh! And you can ask the people close to me about that. Some days I'm so frustrated when I just feel like I can't play anymore. And then, funnily enough, the next day, things change. All right, so here's some ideas to think about. Once you've identified the problem, you're trying to simplify it. Am I breathing? Sounds really obvious, but when I play something difficult, I tend to hold my breath, and that makes it even more difficult. For any wind players out there, that's going to make it really difficult. But even for string players, the importance of breathing. Okay, so ask yourself, am I breathing? Can you do an open string version of it? What I mean by that is take the left hand away and just work out what the bow is doing without worrying about the left hand. So if, for example, I was doing a C major scale and I was doing this open string version of a C major scale, it would look like this. That would actually be a C major scale, but without the left hand. So you're stripping away one bit to reveal the other bit and just be aware of what's going on so you can focus your brain in on that. Okay, the other thing you can do, of course, is the opposite, where you can do just left hand only. So there would be my C major scale again, left hand only. And that can really help with articulation as well of the left hand. And again, it's just giving your brain a chance, because it's a lot going on. Okay, so right hand only, left hand only. Then you could try a bit of air bowing with the left hand on. So for example, I'll use my C major scale again, and that would look like this. You're air bowing, and that's going to help you a little bit, not a lot, but it's going to help you a little bit with your coordination, and it's a bit of an in-between stage before you put your hands together. All right, so there's my air bow. You could try that. Sing it. Try and sing what it is that you're playing, even if you are struggling and you don't feel like you don't have a strong voice. Give it a go anyway. Da, 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 da. See, I don't have a very good voice either. Try and sing it, all right? Even if you sing it in your head, that's going to be great. Slow it down, which is what I'm going to start telling myself to do because I feel like I'm going super fast here. Slow it down, all right? Just take some time. Let things settle. Use a metronome. The metronome is your friend. Start with it slowly and then increase it gradually, okay? And that's going to really fight the temptation to play things full speed. Be really disciplined with yourself. Don't move the metronome up too fast, all right? Give yourself time. See how much of this is just about time? Just do the rhythm, all right? Put your instrument down, try and clap the rhythm because the rhythm is intrinsic to the music. It's so important. Here's an example I've given the cellos before at the virtual sessions, which is, quickly tell me in the comments what this piece is. I'm going to play exactly the wrong notes, but with the right rhythm. Okay, totally wrong notes. Please, nobody film that and put it anywhere. Oh wait, it's live on Facebook. What a disaster. But the point is that rhythm is really important and it tells you so much about the music. Yes, Tamara was first in there. I'm sure there's other people who are getting, yes, exactly, it was happy birthday, all right? It was happy birthday. And so even without the right notes, you can tell what it is, and that shows you just how important the rhythm is. So try and isolate the rhythm. All right, other ideas. Try a long passage of fast notes in dotted rhythms both ways. So I was thinking a little bit about the Haydn Cello Concerto in C. And there's a little bit of that goes like this. And I find that really hard, and I just showed you not a very good version of it. So how would I practice that? Well, I could do it in dotted rhythms. So I slow it down. All right, there's my run in a dotted rhythm. Tim, re, tim, re, tim. And now it looks like everybody's saying happy birthday to me. Anyway, so that's one way round. And then the other one is re, tim, re, tim. So then you do first dotted rhythm faster. And the other one. That one I find much harder. Digga, 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 digga. Then faster again. Ooh, I fluffed that. You see, it's starting to become trickier. And so you need to slow it back down again, and then until it becomes really crazy and you should just play it straight. Yeah! I was happy with that one. So you can try that. The other thing you can do is you can play it at speed or slightly slower, but pause at the shifts. So if I use the same example, it would be like this. pause, shift, and then again. So you're pausing when you get to the shift to focus on what your hand needs to do. Then gradually make the gap between the pause and starting again shorter. So shift, now make the gap shorter, make it shorter, shorter. Alright, so that's something else you can try. Two more things, two more ideas to tackle things, to tackle the problems, to try and problem solve yourself without just going, I need to wait until my next lesson. Break it into small chunks, do 1 bar at a time, alright? Imagine that your piece is a jigsaw puzzle, that you're going to take one piece of the jigsaw puzzle out, you're going to focus on that, and then, excuse me, and then you're going to join it to another piece. You put 2 bars together, then you put 3 bars, 4 bars. Don't just play one piece of the jigsaw and then try and put it right back in and then play the whole piece again, because that's not going to work. Build it up piece by piece. You can also try and invent short exercises based on whatever your tricky thing is. So if it's a shift, to there, you could try and invent a little exercise that goes, or write a piece yourself that covers that, so you can have a little tune. Just making it up. But you get the idea. You can try and invent something to tackle the problem, all right? That last one's maybe for our more advanced students. So there's some ideas for problem solving. Some strategies for tackling challenging parts of your pieces. Now, moving on to the 5th of our P's, to tackle the P word. Pause. Let's just take a moment to pause. Alrighty? I'm going to borrow some of the amazing Elena Uriosti's advice here. Take some time at the end of your practice to go back over the goals that you set, to reflect on them, and to do 2 things. Write down victories, however small they are. Write down things that went well. We're so used to being critical that we only think about the stuff that wasn't going well. Write down the things that did go well, even if it's tiny, like my cello stayed in tune. Or what could another small victory be? I enjoyed playing that. That could be a really small victory, all right? And also note down some PIPs, which stands for potential improvement points. So what do I want to do next time? What is the way that I'm looking to improve next time I come back to this thing? So you've set your goals at the start. After your practice time, you say, how did I get on? What did I do well? And what can I do to try and improve? And that pausing, that time to pause and reflect is really, really important. It's all about being mindful. And my final thing, as we come to the end of this chat, is a few personal pleas from me. Personal pleas. These are like, please, please, please do these things, all right? So, and by the way, it's 3 more P words. Can you believe it? Unbelievable. So be patient. I've said it already, but you need to be kind to yourself. Learning an instrument, and especially a string instrument, is hard, okay? It's a never-ending journey. But it is a journey with loads of amazing discoveries and stop-off points along the way. I was thinking, how depressing would that be to tell you it's a never-ending journey and you're never going to get perfection? But do you know what? Along the way, it's like you're driving on the car, once we're all allowed to drive further than 5 miles, and you stop and you look at the view and you look back and you suddenly see how far you've come. Or like when you're walking up a mountain and you think, this is really difficult, and you stop, you pause, you turn around, you go, oh, look at the view, look at what we've achieved already. And that is a bit like what learning an instrument is like. It's really difficult, but you've got to turn around and see just how far you've come, okay? Be persistent. So what that means is to stick at it, okay? Keep going. It is worth it in the end. And be playful. What do I mean by be playful? I mean, enjoy yourself, okay? So there's no point in sitting there being miserable. Try to always find the fun in what you're doing. It is a very special thing to be able to learn an instrument, and particularly in these times we've come to realise the importance, I hope you're realising the importance of the arts and the importance of music. I believe it's the mark of a civilised society. There, I said it. So always enjoy and seek to enjoy what it is you're doing, and explore your instrument. Leave time. I know I've talked about practice and formal practice today, but leave time to just be a little bit crazy and to explore your instrument. Try and make up little tunes on your instrument. Just sit down one day and go, right, well, I know the notes of my C major, so why don't I see if I can make up a tune using those notes? For example. Okay, so try and work some stuff out. Or you could try and work out a piece by ear. Why does everyone play EastEnders when they play Guess That Tune? I don't know. But try and work out a piece by ear. Experiment with your sound. Alright, see what sounds you can make on your cello. Can you make the sound of a race car? Can you make the sound of, not very good at this one, seagulls? Some people do seagulls. Can you make the sound of a shark? Just kidding. Alright, so take time to be playful and enjoy what it is we're doing, because it's a very special thing to be able to do it. Alright, now, I can see, I just saw Jane's question there, and we do have a couple minutes left. So, somebody's asking, Jane's asking about how long you should practice for. I feel like that answer changes. What I would say is that if you're really serious and you're in music college, you should be doing at least 3 hours a day. If you are taking this seriously and you are aiming towards something, and you're maybe a teenager and you're working about grade 5, 6, as a rough guide, maybe 1 to 2 hours. But here's what's important, regardless of how long you practice, structure your practice time. And what was my other point about that? Oh yes, it's much better to do a shorter amount of time that's really focused than it is to sit there mindlessly playing, like scraping away for the sake of it, and just be like, I'm going to do that for 3 hours so that I can tell my mum that I did 3 hours today. That's not going to work. You're not going to see a massive amount of improvement because of that. Alright. Play Baby Shark, please. I mean, wow. Wow. I'd like to tell you that I was really on trend because I knew Baby Shark before it was big. And I actually knew a different tune to it. But here we go. All credibility has been lost. At the end. It's really easy to play the cello. Open 1, 4, and then at the end, 4, 4, 3. Alright? What should you do when you get frustrated? Stop until tomorrow, or can you find a way to manage it? I think there's a mixture there. If you're finding yourself to get frustrated, I would say put the instrument down, because playing frustrated and practicing in a frustrated mindset, you're probably not going to get much positive work done. So I would take a break, not necessarily for the rest of the day, but try and clear your head, do whatever gives you rest and restoration. Okay, and I'm going to stop before anybody else suggests me playing any other crazy tunes on my cello. I hope some of that has been helpful to you. Please do share, and please do comment below if you think it would be helpful to somebody else. If you're a parent out there, then share it with other parents if you think what I've said might be helpful for them. Like I said, as a music teacher, I do spend a lot of time telling people how to practice. So it'd be great to share some of my ideas if you think they've been any good. Obviously don't share it if you think that I'm talking rubbish, but yeah, there you go. And please check back here regularly on the Benedetti Foundation Facebook page, because we've got sessions next week, again on Tuesday, and then again on Thursday, and we'll keep our eyes peeled for who's going to be leading them. So it's been great to be with you again, and hope to see you again soon. Thanks for all your positive comments and all the love hearts. It's been great fun. See you later.